guys, welcome to Friday. It's Fun Flavor Friday, and we are live to Instagram and we are live to YouTube. Today, we're going to hang out together and we're going to make some hazelnut treats. Now, I have a few ideas rolling around in my head, and we're going to play with a couple of different things today, and we're going to create some really fun recipes together. So, the first thing we're going to do today is I have two favorite treats that I used to really love over Valentine's Day, and one of them is the good old classic Toffee. They were my favorite. They've got the caramel, they've got what I would consider almost like a truffle, and then the chocolate on top. So we're going to attempt to make a keto version of this today. So step one is I have the empty mold, and we're going to use the mold to make our own. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make a caramel. Now, I got permission from Nancy of Keto for Real Life People to use her creamy keto caramel recipe. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a quarter batch of Nancy's recipe, because we don't need a whole lot just to do our little keto toffee face. So I will also post Nancy's original recipe. It is already posted on the Instagram. And what we're doing is we're taking her recipe and cutting it exactly in 1/4. So we're going to start out with 1 tablespoon of butter. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar-free syrup. Now, unfortunately, Nancy had the Chalk Zero one, and I know it's a better quality than what I have available to me. Unfortunately, Ed's brand syrup is all that I have. It does have sucralose in it, so if you guys have a better option, use your better option. And then we're going to add a 1/2 of a cup of allulose sweetener. Now, lots of times in my recipes, you can substitute one sweetener for another. This one, you cannot. It is the allulose that will make it caramelized. So if you don't add, I have something burning on there on the bottom of my pot. If you don't add the allulose, it will not caramelize. I have tried this with other things and it didn't work. So this is the one recipe that we have to stick to the allulose in this one. Let me turn this down a little bit. And I'm going to grab my heavy cream, and we're going to add 1/2 of a cup of heavy cream. And this is 1/4 of Nancy's recipe. So when you look at her full recipe, it's 2 cups of allulose, 2 cups of heavy cream, 1/2 a cup of butter, and 1/4 of a cup of the maple syrup. So we're going to mix this all together, and we're going to let it cook down. It will reduce a fair amount. Now, in Nancy's recipe, it gave you guys the directions for with a candy thermometer. I don't have one of those. We always did the old-fashioned candy style, where you just cook it until it forms a hard ball stage in water. So that's what we're going to do today to get the candy that we want. So while I'm letting this warm and stirring it, I'm going to scroll over and say hello to my darlings. Hello, Miss Joette. Hello, Miss Sue Davis. It's so nice to see you. Keto Neo, nice to see you today. So today we are doing our Fun Flavor Friday creations, and we're making stuff with hazelnut, and we're going to attempt a keto toffee. So we're making a caramel right now, and then we're going to make a variation of the fudge that I make, because I think texture-wise it will be very similar to the texture inside of the toffee. And then we're going to top it with some chocolate. So this is what we're doing today. And then our next project is going to be a Rocher style hazelnut chocolate, because I really like those as well. So again, I have a couple ideas in mind, but we're building as we go. So if you guys are looking for this recipe, it will not be available until after the live. I'll edit the video. Crystal will make us our recipe cards when she has time to. So within the next couple of days, you guys will get the actual recipe cards. And today we're just trying it out together. So Happy Friday. If you guys have any questions while we're doing our live recipe, now is an awesome time to ask because we don't really have all that much on the go here right now. So if you guys have any questions, I can see we have a couple people watching on YouTube, but unlike Facebook, it doesn't show me who's watching. So when you pop in on YouTube, say hi. That way I know that you are here. Instagram shows us, but YouTube does not. If you guys did not tune in yesterday, we are switching our live format from Facebook to YouTube. So if you were used to watching my live recipes, my live Q&As on Facebook, that portion has moved over to YouTube. And if you normally watch on Instagram, you guys are aces. We're still live on Instagram. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. It's kind of a little bit of a boring part just to watch me make toffee. Which is why I thought it's a good time to chat if you guys want to chat. This will reduce to about half of the original volume as it cooks down. But really all you can do is just sit here and stir it so that it doesn't burn. Hello. Joette is greeting Keto Neo. Hello, dude. It's so nice to hang out with you today. I missed your thing at 10 today. I was out and about and I was shopping. It's still really, really cold out, so I wanted to make sure I got all of my weekend shopping done today because, man, I am not about being out there in the miserable, miserable cold. Blowing it gently because it's starting to boil quite hard and I don't want it to burn, so I'm just going to turn it down just a little touch. Now this is also how you would make sponge toffee. This is how you would make a sponge toffee. You would cook it to hardball stage and at the end you would add your baking soda to puff it up. And I think we might try that too. I used to really love that stuff when I was a kid. Back in the day when you could get a whole brick for $0.25. Sue says, I need to learn how to navigate better on Instagram. You know what, Sue? We can do some lives about that. And we can chat about that. Get some of your specific questions ready. And we can definitely chat about how you maneuver on Instagram, how you share things, how you find stuff in people's pages, because there's a lot of really cool stuff on Instagram. Last night, I made a post about how to turn on your following notifications for Instagram so that if you're coming over from Facebook, you don't miss the live notifications, and it's super easy. So you go to any page of someone you're following, click on the 3 dots at the top right corner, scroll down, click on story notifications, click on post notifications, and then you won't miss any of the things that they do. If you just have post notifications on but not stories, then you don't get the notification that I'm live. On YouTube, all you need to do is subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and then same thing. Every time I hop on live on YouTube, you'll get a little notification that says Colorful Keto with Dory is live now. You can watch them on the replay on YouTube, and if you want to see the comments that were left during the live, click on live chat, and you'll be able to scroll through any of the comments that were made during the live. On YouTube, if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments of the video, or you can go to my community tab on my YouTube channel and you can post your pictures. You can post your questions and we can chat in there, very similar to how the Facebook feed works. So we're making a few adjustments. Things are changing a little bit, but I think it's going to be good in the long run. So give me 1 second. The tail end of this cold is still kicking my hiney, I'll tell you what. But all the yummy elderberry snacks have really helped. I don't think I even actually got the full cold. I think I got that feeling like a cold was going to arrive. I got the slightest little bit of a cough that's kind of hanging around. But I didn't really actually feel sick this time. So I'm going to say it's all the extra vitamin C and the elderberry that I've been eating for the last couple of weeks. So yay me. Okay, so we're going to stir this. And I don't know if you guys can see, or I don't really want to try to tip it and burn myself. But basically, we're going to hard boil. So you want to keep it at a relatively rapid boil until it reduces. And then about halfway reduction, we're going to test it in our cold water. The easiest way to do is to pour a glass of cold water and then throw an ice cube in it. And then that way it's really, really cold. And you can test how hard your candy's getting by how quickly it gets hard in the cold water. I should invest in a candy thermometer. It's just one of those things I never did. Do you guys have one? Who has a candy thermometer? Hands up. Hands up if you have one. I'm curious. And I'm sure there are probably enough projects that I would use it for that it would be a worthwhile investment, I would think. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Ooh, Sue says she has a candy thermometer. Do you use it, girl? Like, is it one of those things you use, or is it something that you bought and just sits at the bottom of your cutlery drawer? I'm curious if it's something I would actually use or not. So the other thing you'll notice as this reduces is it goes from a very light color to a nice dark caramel color. So we're about halfway in our cooking process right now. It's gone from white to a light golden, and as it cooks down, it's going to get more of that rich caramel color. So we're just going to continue on. Have you seen those automatic stirring spoons? I'm curious about those too. Does anybody have one of those that just sits on the side of your pot and circles around so you can walk away? I think I'd be irresponsible. I really feel like I would walk away from my food far too much. Sue says she uses it, so that's awesome. If it's something you use, then yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for the convenience of things that will make our lives easier. I find I tend to buy those silly, useless kitchen gadgets that I don't always make use of later. I don't know. Is that just me? Do you guys do that too? I don't know. I don't know if you do that too. So I'm going to turn this up just a teeny slight bit. And I would say we're almost about half reduced. So once it gets the nice golden color, we'll start checking the texture. I'm going to grab us an ice cube so that we can check the viscosity of our candy. There we go. Pop that in there. And we're going to keep stirring. Stir, stir, stir. And I'm really happy with this allulose sweetener. I don't know if you guys have had opportunity to try it out yet, but I'm really happy with it. It's a game changer. If you're looking for anything to caramelize or harden or turn into a candy, you want this in it. We're also going to do an ice cream because from my understanding, it won't freeze solid. So we can do a scoopable keto ice cream. So we're going to be experimenting with that probably next week. What flavor do you guys want? I won't lie, I kind of want to do a cinnamon. I used to love vanilla ice cream with cinnamon hearts in it, so I kind of want to do a vanilla cream cinnamon heart ice cream. So let me know what flavor you guys would like to try. I'm all down for the cinnamon, I won't lie. And I have my Loran Oils cinnamon oil, and it tastes just like cinnamon hearts. I've done some gummies with it. Oh, cinnamon heart gummies. But with this, we might even be able to do a hard candy. Okay, so I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit. And we're going to check the texture in our cold water. So I'm going to move it so you guys can see. And you want to just take a little bit of our liquid and you want to pour it in. And you'll see it's not hardening yet. So we need to cook it longer. That's how you know. And then we just stand here and we do this. It's super exciting. I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. You can see that it's kind of about the texture of a caramel sauce right now, and it's not hardening yet. So we just wait it out. We stir and we stir. Can you use it for deep frying? I don't know. I would assume you could use a candy thermometer for deep frying because I got a little dribble of the hot candy in my eye. That was bad. I think you would be able to. I think the heat would be high enough on a candy thermometer that you could, because usually you sit it in there until it gets to like, I don't know, what, 300 degrees? Chips of hard cinnamon candy and ice cream. Yes, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like hard cinnamon candies inside of vanilla ice cream. What do you think? Like, I think that would be my dream, like my actual ultimate dream. This looks like it's getting closer to the color of Nancy's caramels, so we'll just keep it going on. And again, you guys know how I do this with you. I never really try anything out first. Maybe I should. Al always says I should. He's like, you should know. You should try it first, and you should know how long it's going to take. But meh, I just like hanging out with you guys and doing it together to learn. Hello, Mr. Josh. Technical ability, I know, right? Woo! Look, check out the fabulous technique, Josh. Like, I know it's impressive. I don't even know what to tell you. So, Josh, welcome. We are going to make a keto toffee today. So right now we're working on the caramel. And it's the super exciting part. We get to just stand here and watch Dory stir stuff. Yay! It's the Dory Stir Stuff show today. But once we get the caramel done, then we're off to the exciting parts. And we get to make the fudge for the middle and melt the chocolate for the top. And then we get to have keto toffee. We got to decide what to call them. I need your guys' help to decide to name them. I pride myself in having good names for things. So we need to figure out what we're going to call this one. You can't really call it Coffee Fate because then it makes it sound like it's a coffee flavor. So, I don't know. Keto Fae? I just don't know. What do you think we should call them? I don't know. Any suggestions? I used allulose sweetener for this one, and it has to be the allulose so that it firms up. I did try to make pecan brittle, and I did it with an ethyl blend, and it did not caramelize and brittle up, and then I had to change the name and call it crumble, but it was really yummy pecan crumble. But it was certainly not a brittle. It did not even come close to making a brittle, unfortunately. Josh says call them bomb-ass Fae. Do you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Really, technically, they are kind of a fat bomb. All of your ingredients are your high-fat ingredients. It's going to be a high-fat mousse. This is going to be a good fat caramel, and then we can add some extra coconut oil to the chocolate when we melt on top. So, yeah, that's actually... I like it, Josh. Bomb-ass Fae. I think that might be it. Okay, so this is how we can tell that it's coming closer to the color of an actual caramel. So we're getting really close now, and it's starting to darken up. So you want to make sure that you're briskly stirring so that it doesn't burn in any spots. And I want this to get to be a nice dark caramel. I want it to be at least that color. So let's stir, stir, stir. And I can tell thickness-wise, we are getting really close there as well. Now, in Nancy's recipe for this, she made it with nuts. So she just made the toffee with nuts, and then you either pour it into a mold or put it in a container and slice them into separate caramels. Okay, so let's check how we're doing here in our cold water. And let's see. Give that a second to set. We're getting close. We're getting close. See how it's starting to string together? I don't know if you guys can see. It's kind of a little bit cloudy. But right now, we're at a soft caramel phase. So we're going to cook it just a little bit more so that we can get a good, solid caramel. Now, I did not think to spray out any additional mold, which I should probably do because this is going to be more caramel than we need just for our little toffee molds. So I think we're going to do some caramel hearts. We'll do some caramel hearts. And if we want to, we can throw some nuts in on the caramel hearts as well. What do you think? Pecans? Pecan and caramel, I think. Okay. We're going to give this another check and see how we doing. I'm going to call it done, though. Let me turn it just down so that it doesn't continue to cook while we bowl. And there we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. So as soon as it hits the water, it hard balls. And that's how you know that it's going to set for you into a solid candy. So we're going to remove this from the heat and spray out the molds. Okay. We're going to one-hand this because Dory's smooth. One-hander. We'll spray out these ones. And we're going to spray out our Toffee molds. Now, I'm going to let this cool slightly before I put it in this little plastic mold, just because, like, I don't want to risk burning through that plastic, and this is really hot. So I'm just going to stir it and let it cool a little bit while I do. Let me unplug this and get that out of my way as well. Oh, yeah. So while I'm doing that, let's throw some pecans into the heart mold so that we can end up with some pecan toffee hearts. I'm so smooth with one hand. Did you see that? Oh my god, I just about dropped hot toffee on myself. Don't do that. Oh god. Do not ever drop hot toffee on yourself. That would stick so bad. Oh my goodness. So bad. So I'm just going to break up some pecan pieces into our hearts. Single-handed it here. Dory's so smooth. I don't know why I don't plan these things better. Don't ask. This is how we roll. Hot mess kitchen on the way. It's how we do here. And then of course, you know, because I'm touching them, I have to like eat one. That's how that works. Just a part of one. What? I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Yay, caramel. Okay. Oh, look at how nice and caramelly that is. So we're going to let it cool just a little bit more. I'm going to move you guys nice and close so you can see. That is the exact right color. I'm in love with that. What do you think? Josh says he's got a good idea for new cooking stories, the Canadian secret sauce. You're so funny, dude. I love you. You're so awesome. Okay, so let's start spooning this into our heart mold. And then we'll put some into our other mold as well. Let me... Look at how beautiful that is, though. Like, man, that is a nice sauce. So we're going to just pour it into our mold on top of the pecans and fill up each of the hearts. And then when we do our Toffee mold, I'm just going to pour a little bit in and stir it around so that it coats just the base of it. And these take about 1/2 teaspoon each to fill, so they're not a huge serving size. They make a nice little caramel candy. Get those in there. So I'm guessing we may as well sign out at this point. I will take pictures of this step. I will get the caramels cooled, and then we'll pop back in. We're going to make the mousse. And then our next project will be the rochers. So, I'm going to get this one filled so I can show you guys. And then we're going to sign out just for now and pop back in to do the next step. So, let me get one more of these in here and then I will show you guys what we're looking like. Because, man, it looks so pretty. And this is a really nice stringy toffee too, actually. There we go. So we got step 1, and I will sign back in with you guys shortly, and let's get these Toffee built together. Fat bomb phase. Woo! See you guys soon. Bye, darlings. Mwah.